So we're walking through the woods out to take a wilderness excursion tonight. The temperature's supposed to drop down to -7 Fahrenheit or minus 21.6 Celsius. So here is the site where we're going to be putting up our shelter for the night. Got a creek bottom running down through there, and over there is our Great Pyrenees. He likes to come out and be with me. Alright, well there's the spot. Let's get started. So we've got our pack right here and our big silky saw. And we're getting ready to build our shelter. And there's our big dog. Hey, Spirit. Alright, hey boy. Well, let's get to building. We got a shelter to make and a fire to start. Of course, for a winter survival situation like this, we need a nice big fire, and there's nothing like our big silky saw here, the Katana Boy 500, to help us to cut enough firewood to sustain ourselves on a cold winter night like tonight is going to be. So let's get started. Let's see. We want it to fall that way. So, the vines and such off of here. A lot of poison ivy and such around here. I'm not very allergic to it, so that's a good thing. Got a little warm sawing, so took off my outer jacket to do this back cut here. Timber! Alright. That's going to be some good firewood for tonight. That's some old hard black walnut. It's going to burn good tonight. Now all we got to do is cut it to length for our Siberian log fire. Alright, so that first tree I cut down had some rotten spots in it, so I am going to have to cut down another one. I found a nice big tree right here, and I've cut part way through it, so let's finish it off and get it cut down. The sun is starting to go down. I got about an hour and a half before dark, so let's get it done. All right, let's bucket into lengths. All right, this is gonna be our middle log. Come here, buddy. Come on, let's move. What'd you find to eat, huh? Huh? What'd you find? Anyway, he found something to eat. This is going to be the middle log for our Siberian log fire. So as soon as I can get him to move, I'll finish setting it up. In the meantime, I'm going to go grab some more logs and bring them over here and get it all set up for you. So this is the basic setup of the Siberian Log Fire, and a special shout out to Far North Bushcraft and Survival and also Survival Russia for this unique method. And it's called the Siberian Fire, Log Fire. And so you've got a base log, and then you have, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 logs, and they are laid out in sort of a fan-shaped method. The idea being that the fire will burn at the very base of the log here, and it'll burn where the logs touch across the front here. And then because it's at an angle, it's a natural reflector that will push fire this way and not back that way. And of course you just push the logs in as the fire burns down. So it's a really unique fire. And I also want to give a special shout out to Chuck and Amanda, a couple of my faithful YouTube viewers. They've been waiting to see this put into action. We'll light it here after a bit when it gets a little darker and a little colder. Alright, well, it is time to light the fire here. And it is about 6:45 and it is 5 degrees above 0 Fahrenheit, and the temperature is dropping. So, starting to feel a little chilly out here. So I have some cedar bark, some other things I have prepared here. Of course, as I always say in my videos to my classes, fire is all about preparation. And so we want to make sure that we are prepared to get a fire going in any kind of weather. And of course that means that we got a lot of soft, fluffy stuff, and we use the palm of your hand. And essentially what you're kind of making is a woodland type cotton ball. And of course I've got all my sticks laid out here as well, and we want to make sure that we're able to get a fire started. Of course I have a lot of other fire tricks up my sleeve, as it were, in my fire kit, but it's always fun to be able to do it with natural tinders. And so let's see what we got here. Okay, put this right in here. Get our ferro rod out. Alright. And we have flame. Go ahead and let this build and grow. Well, the fire is starting to blaze up hotly, and look at those huge upper logs there. So all now we have to do is keep that fire burning down there in the bottom until we get the back log and the upper logs burning well, and then we'll have our Siberian log fire. And it should burn all night. Well, our Siberian log fire is roaring quite nicely and putting out a lot of heat. Here is our shelter, and wool blanket right here, and then we've got a German ground mat here on the ground right here, and then just a thermarest pad underneath, and then the military Arctic sleeping bag. Zoom out there, you can see a little better. Alright, and what we've done is just a simple tarp shelter, very easily made. And this is why it's important that one side of your shelter has a reflective side for that thermal radiation from the fire bouncing right back into our structure. It's far enough from the heat so we don't get a lot of sparks and a lot of smoke, but close enough that we can feel all the heat and enjoy it all night. And it's just stretched on a simple guy line, paracord, and then it is guyed out to stakes here on the ground. Just real simple. So here's what it looks like from the back side of the logs burning and the shelter. Oh yeah. You can definitely feel marvelous amount of heat. We're going to stay comfy and warm tonight. So here's an interesting problem. When I went down to the creek to get some water, it was frozen, of course, and I broke through the top couple of inches of ice, and the water had flowed out from underneath the ice, and so I'm just going to melt ice for my water for my supper tonight. And so here's where our little pot stand comes in nice. Our potato masher grill. Get it up high enough where we can melt the ice. Alright, so we are dropping in levels here. So I went down to the creek, got some more ice. Ice is always better to melt than snow because there's a lot more water in it. Snow is mostly air. What makes it such a great insulator for igloos and such. So this is my view right now. The ice is melting in my bottle. The Siberian Log Fire is doing its job, kicking off an amazing amount of heat in my direction. Smoke is rising straight up, and we have a full moon in the sky. It is a cold, clear evening. And so now our water has achieved a rolling boil. We'll take it off the fire, ready to drink as soon as it cools off. For supper tonight, we've got some Hormel chili. I don't know if you can read that or not. See a little bit. It's going to taste delicious. So we've got our chili in the pot. There's our pot holder. And of course the lid is on it. And this is just an old bushcrafter's trick. Simply a fork stick stuck in the ground and a long stick over top. Try to keep a knob or something on the end. I just cut the branch so that it wouldn't slip off either way. As you can see, it's right in the middle there. And then back to this end, all you simply do is you have a fork running out this way, of course up the stick, and then I have a Y stick just stuck in the ground over top of this end to hold it down. Alright, well, it's time to have some chili. Put my gloves on here, get it off the fire. I'll tell you, this is extremely warm in this shelter. I am almost sweating. I'm wearing a couple of fleeces and some polypropylene waffle type underlayers, but wow, that's all I have on is just a couple of fleeces and a base layer, and wool pants and some Under Armours underneath this, but I am really warm. Let's get this off here. Yeah, I'll set it down here and let it cool off. See what it tastes like. Very hot. Oh yeah, nicely done. I also have extra logs here and some back up over there, just beyond where the tripod's set up, and a pile of sticks there. But so far, doing really well. Very pleased with the setup, and I do believe that the bigger the logs, the better. and I would not have been able to process that size firewood without the Silky Katana Boy 500. That is just an awesome saw for winter survival. Makes all the difference. Well, the chili's cooled down, and we're going to have supper. Tastes good. Well, I'm getting ready to turn in for the night. It's so warm here, I'm not even going to get into my sleeping bag at first. So we'll see how we do throughout the night, see how this Siberian log fire continues to heat. Right now it's doing an absolutely fantastic job. Well, it's a little after 5 a.m. in the morning, and here's our fire. So, not wanting to focus real good, but anyhow, it'll be morning in a couple hours, and I've slept pretty warm all night. Try to get a little bit more sleep before the sun comes up. Well, good morning. The sun's just starting to crest the horizon, and our Siberian log fire kept us warm all night long and got pretty cool last night. Appreciate you coming along with me on this little expedition, and just a simple shelter. Perfect bushcraft pack, again, doing fine for a overnighter or even up to a 3-day trip. Be great. So this is what's left of our Siberian log fire. It's burning all night. Big log in the middle is almost, and the bottom's almost done. Alright, well, this is my view this morning. Cold, crisp air. Right down there is where I got my water last night. Tilted up that big slab of ice and then started to get the clean ice and break it to put it into my vessel for boiling. On down the creek bed and on out into the beautiful Ohio countryside. This is James Bender for Waypoint Survival. Please like, share, and subscribe. Make sure and press the bell button to stay notified of all of our upcoming videos, and we'll talk to you next time.